Okay, we'll call our facilities meeting to order. And let's see, who do we have today? Pat, Todd, and Craig. Approval of the agenda, and I have got to say, this is the first I've looked at the agenda, so. Date questions, presentation by Cole. Okay. Well, let's start with new business and turn it over to Nexus for our updates.
Alright. Did you do the board update? Okay. So, I can get a copy of it. I don't put one here.
You wanna hand her that one there? Or this one?
Thank you. So I can at least sound somewhat intelligent here. So I guess the biggest thing that I can tell you is that we received the permit for, Bird Island. So we officially have a permit there. We received the asbestos information for the west side, and I guess these guys, oh, back up, I'm sorry. This is Chris Ramsey, so he's our new, state super for the whole Bold project, so he is, replacing Zach.
Did Zach ever make it to a facilities meeting? I don't think he did.
So you guys will see Chris's face probably a lot more. Breck is still here too. Yep. Yes, he, I sent him off to go make phone calls for me on something else. But, so for Bird Island, we received permit, we received all the asbestos information. They are bidding the west side portion right now for asbestos to hopefully start. We were hoping to start at the end of February, but we have basketball season until early March, so they won't be starting asbestos work because we need access to the bathrooms until then. So that will be starting right after basketball season ends, so March 4th is the last game that will be there. Then we will start with the work, asbestos work there. With the following week, we would start demo work over there. Minus this small gym, which baseball will be playing in until April-ish, late April, I should say. Then we'll start over there.
That small gym, is that the one that's in the teal color?
Yep, exactly, yep.
And the demo work, you're just talking asbestos demo? everything?
I'm talking, so asbestos will start the week of 3/4.
Okay,
That will take 2 weeks, asbestos demo, all that stuff, but actual demo construction, which isn't like huge stuff, so.
okay.
Not the building demo,
Just the west side
just the
demo.
west side, I'm
Okay.
only talking west side.
Okay.
So that big blue section is still, that's the building demo we're talking about.
Exactly,
That's
I'm
the
only
east.
talking west side,
You're talking the stuff that's in the red, the orange, and the teal.
exactly. Because we have to get everything out of the area that's being demoed, because the infrastructure is in the side that's being demoed. So we have to get everything over to the area we're keeping, and then we can demo the building.
Yeah, all the heating stuff, the
Yep,
HVAC.
exactly.
And electrical.
So we'll start doing all that work. The plan is all that work 10/3-ish. We're gonna give them that long. I don't think they're gonna need that long, but that's kind of the dates that Derek, he's like, we need to have this done by 10/3. So we're kind of giving them that time because they'll be working over there. They'll have stuff here too. So we're kind of letting them have both, which is earlier than we had planned anyways, so.
So there'll be no baseball or no other summer stuff that needs to happen in Bird Island?
Nope.
Okay.
The first thing that he said that they needed over there again, and that was, I believe, August 11th, was just the gym, the main gym for play practice. And then he had said that they could use the bathrooms in the portion that's going to be demoed, or they could use the bathrooms in the lower locker room for that.
Okay.
But we'll have those bathrooms, either they'll be pretty close to be done, or they're gonna be done in a couple weeks. So,
Okay.
So you're thinking the whole thing should be done sometime in August?
October.
October,
October.
but, so, these colors, you can't read this over here cause it's small, but, so the orange portion is planned to be done end of August. And that's so it's ready for I think it's volleyball that starts in September.
Is
So
Orange,
the
is that
locker
on the
rooms-
center left, the west side?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
west
side.
the west side.
That's essentially where the new, one of the new bathrooms will be anyways, so that'll be done in August.
Yep, both of the bathrooms, those
Yeah,
bathrooms
they're
will be
right
done.
there, yeah.
Yep,
So
and the
they'll be
locker
done.
rooms.
And
So
the
it's
locker rooms too.
So it's ready for, I believe it's volleyball season. So that's the plan, that orange area. The teal area, which would be for dance, so the dance, gym, the small gym. And then the dance studio, which is down in the south portion, that would be, basically it would be ready for 10-1. But then we changed this up, and the red area will also all be done at the same time, which is 10-1.
What's really being done in the red area?
Nothing really much.
Not much, just
Just updating.
Yep.
And
Some
then
like flooring being torn up, maybe some paint, some ceiling tiles,
So,
windows, and
the
stuff like
part that was gonna be used by
YMCA.
YMCA, is that still there? Is that not shown on here? That's gone.
That's the southwest corner.
Yep.
Okay, so
That was
this-
a room, and then there was a room by kind of where that choir room is. It's a room right south of there.
so that's just gonna be extra rooms for like when people show up for, is it still gonna be used for YMCA or, cause I didn't think that project was through.
No, it'll just be a room ready for
For, like, if a,
special use.
yes, okay, so it'll just be an open room now, but then
Yeah.
We
the
could rent
office
it out or
building on the
something.
other side that
You
was gonna be all part of that project is now gone. The
Right.
community
Rhode
center
Island
aspect,
thing's
so
all
that'll
gone.
all go away on the blue side, okay.
And so we do have a meeting with the asbestos people on Monday, right? To go through, we're gonna talk to see about possibly starting the asbestos work on the east side sooner. During the summer, they're super busy, so they will not be able to do it, so either we get it done before summer happens, or we wait till after summer is done. But we were thinking that if we could get them in there before summer happens, then once this portion on the west side's done, we can get them into demoing that. Otherwise, we're waiting. They won't be able to get to the asbestos until September, October, and it will take them at least 2 months to do the asbestos work on the east side that's gonna be removed. So we wouldn't be able to start demo until late November, December. So if we get them
Yeah,
in there
yeah.
earlier, we can start demo work
Early.
mid-October, have it gone possibly by January 1st.
So essentially, according to your schedule right here, is Bird Island should be completely done July-ish, it's saying, right?
So that's based on the schedule that we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
always
yeah, yeah,
published,
yeah,
yes, yep.
So, and that, the parking lot, everything, so Bird Island campus would be completely finito.
Yeah, it was July, it's July 2026,
Six,
yep, yep.
Be a
But we
week from
possibly
yesterday.
can get it, if all the stars align,
Mhm.
we possibly could have it done March of 2026, or April of 2026.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't really talked with the demo crews or the people that will do the civil work, all that over there, until we have a full conversation with the asbestos people about when they're gonna do the asbestos work over there.
So that hasn't been bid yet either for ours.
They have not bid the east
That
portion
east
yet.
portion, okay.
Cause that's gonna be a whole big bid, I mean, they're gonna have to advertise that one is over that $125,000 threshold, there's a lot of abatement over there,
Okay.
a ton. So,
And it has to be abated before they tear it down, or it can't be part of the same deal?
it has to be abated before it gets torn down. The mold can stay in there, that can,
The asbestos has to be pulled
Yep.
out.
it has to be. Yep.
What if we did it at night?
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
We're not on
It's a joke.
camera.
No, well, kinda.
They still might do it at night, who knows,
Yeah.
but.
I'm just kidding, I know.
Any questions on,
Gotta be
Rhode Island?
careful. Can't joke.
I'll get phone calls, yeah.
what's the, in the green, what's that indicate?
Oh, that's a lower level locker room and, the mezzanine, the air handler, that's gonna be changed out. We basically said that the second that these locker rooms are done, the new ones, they can go down there and work on those. And all that is down there, they're pulling out the lockers or taking out the toilets, the plumbing down there. It's nothing happening.
It's just gonna be a big storage area?
Yeah.
How about the water issues down there? Will you expect that to be better?
Do we have any? I don't know what's all called out for down.
We don't have anything.
Thing called out for.
Because that would have to be taking it down to the foundation or wherever, so that's the problem. We don't have anything exterior of the building over there.
Are there any sump pumps or anything down in that area? I
There's a
don't-
sub pump
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
If you put anything, you might wanna put pallets down first.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. I think it's probably work that needs to happen on the sidewalk itself. I see where that the post is kind of pulling it up, and I know that's not helping things. But I know Jim Jacobs had once mentioned just putting like tar down in there to seal it, keep water from getting in there in the first place.
Right, somebody should take a look at that, because obviously it's gonna create some wall issues eventually, even though it's been there for 60 years already, but
Yeah,
We're just
maybe it
talking
has to
about
be
what we think
coincided
might be
at some
the
point
issue.
when they redo
yeah.
the sidewalk
Well,
or something, but.
like what Randy said, is I think we should at least have a look at it and know what we're dealing with, if it's a simple fix or if it's something that's more extravagant, we should at least know.
We can have somebody take a look at it and give us a quote too.
Yeah, cause then once you keep beating your budget, so darn, you know, we'll have extra money if you keep beating your budget like that, right?
Alright, now Olivia? Sure. So I'm sure you guys saw what's going on by the pool. Unless you guys missed all that excitement. There's a big hole!
So, has the, mild winter so far, either put us ahead of schedule or reduced our budget because of the mild winter so far, or has it been going as expected?
Well, we had that really cold, big cold snap, so we did get a lot of frost in the ground and stuff. I mean, we haven't had to do any snow
Okay,
removal,
yeah.
which that part's good, but we still had a lot of frost.
We picked up more frost this year than
Yeah.
the last 3 years.
Yeah,
It's just,
okay.
it was deep.
We did get permit, well, we don't have it in hand yet because they are reviewing the tornado shelter's occupancy. This is a standard thing, it goes to the next level for them just to review the occupancy counts. You know, verifying that our accounts are what their accounts are. So, I actually thought we would have it today. I guess it takes them a while to count it and stuff, so I would think we'll have it this week. Actually, they'll send me the email where I pay the fee then and stuff, but we're approved via the plans, they just have to verify this count and stuff, so.
Okay.
As you can see, we're approved to proceed with the work and everything, so we're moving forward, we're on schedule so far, so far so good. Pool area, we're probably a week behind, I would say, but not an issue. I was talking to Tracy, we kinda going back and forth on emails, it shouldn't be a problem with her schedule or anything like that. So we should be good there as well. And I'm trying to think what else here that we need to really clean up, I mean,
No, we've got plans, we've already done all of our planning, we've got it on the 11th of February, we've got another meeting for
schedules.
schedules, and to start this summer, but other than that, everything is set, so we're making sure
The
that
last one is the front office and
and
the big demo.
the big demo,
So to create that schedule, but I mean, so far we're moving along, I feel like schedule-wise, we're doing good. They're moving out of their office here soon, their trailers are showing up here next week.
Campers.
Campers, I forgot,
Campers.
the new lingo.
Mhm.
We got the electricians ready to start powering them up and so
you know,
We'll
we've got
start demo over
electrical
there.
communication ready to roll, so
Has Jerry been working with you on that?
Yes.
We've started conversations.
Okay.
Started conversations.
All right.
Yep.
I forget the new construction out here, is that Spancrete, or those are formed walls coming
Yep.
in?
Yeah, it's
Precast walls.
precast,
Precast, okay.
walls and roof,
Okay,
so.
it goes up pretty fast then once they're done, huh?
Yeah, once they go
What
up.
did they
it's-
say, a week? 2
Yeah,
weeks?
2 weeks for everything to stand up.
Okay,
We still have masonry on the inside, there's a corridor wall that goes there. So there's, and steel roof and that, so. But right now, we're sitting pretty good.
when do you expect the walls would start?
The 24th of February.
Okay. Okay,
And just to refresh, we won't tear, the last thing we start on is a big demo, cause we gotta have everything else done to move classes, or is that starting, when are we
That-
starting the big demo?
This summer.
Yeah.
It is starting this
But
summer.
it's gonna take us till 2026 to finish.
Correct, yeah, I understand, it's a long,
It's a long process, only for the reason is we've gotta keep everything else open.
yeah.
So, right now, like I said, we're kind of working with the asbestos company here as well on what needs to be abated here. Obviously, we're putting Bird Island, cause we can get that going right now, since there's no kids there, all that stuff. But for here, we're kind of already starting to plan. We talked with, Missy and Chris on kind of changing up, adding a couple things that we weren't planning to do this summer to give more classrooms for next year for them, a couple bedrooms. And then, possibly can we get access to these areas a little bit earlier to start the asbestos, but we're thinking start on that side with doing the asbestos removal. And then, cause the biggest portion would be the elementary and then this area here that we're gonna be demoing. So you will see probably this area being the last, this area will be the last thing going action wise. Like you'll probably see this action going before you'll see over there. So this summer, I'm just saying, like, you'll be like, how come nothing has happened over here? It's because there's a lot of asbestos stuff that has to happen, there's a lot of shutting down of everything over here before we can actually start, starting to tear things down and everything, so.
got it. Have these bids been let then for the demo over in Olivia?
All the bids are done
Yeah, we're
They-
for here.
The bids
Yeah.
here. Who's
Yeah.
doing the demo work over here? Just out of curiosity. Do you remember?
It's with,
RW.
yeah, it's all through here it's all with RW,
Okay.
Carlstrom. Over in Olivia, it was separate.
Or Bird
I mean,
Island.
Bird Island, sorry.
Okay.
It's all separate, and that one was with, is it Landwehr?
Landwehr.
Yeah, Landwehr.
Oh, okay.
They're doing the big demo.
Alright.
We did that one as a separate one, but here it's with, RW, our general contractor.
Okay.
But did you say over in Bird Island, they haven't bid the asbestos part of it yet, on the big demo?
Yeah, that's correct. Asbestos is separate. Asbestos isn't ran through,
And we
our
haven't had
normal
a bid on that yet?
they haven't gone out to bid on it, no.
No, they just finished the survey recently
Yep.
to get it out. Ready.
Technically, we had them go back and do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's, unforeseen, so we're trying to cover all the bases as possible.
How's that play into our overall budget?
I had to look to see what the overall budget is, but I think it's over. I actually do think it's over, because he mentioned that the Bird Island portion that's gonna be demoed, he thinks it's gonna be over 300,000, and I think that's over our budget. That will take us over. And then I think he mentioned that the summer's portion was 150 for Olivia
Yeah, that's what he said.
and stuff,
Yeah,
so.
I didn't see that in.
It's gonna be, I think it's gonna put us over budget on asbestos. But I have to verify that. I can circle back on that.
Are we still gonna have enough to make sure we get this northwest corner done?
Oh, yeah, we have a
Okay,
hearty amount still.
okay.
Are there any other state grants or funding you can go after for asbestos removal abatement?
I am not sure on that.
Is that something that Nexus can look into, or is that something we would have to do, or have someone else?
I can talk to, the asbestos company on that and see what they know. I mean, like I said, we have a conference call with them on Monday.
Yeah.
We'll start
I
there.
heard that, but
No,
Worth
not
it.
at all.
Question.
'Cause I also think there's federal grants available for that kind of shit too, stuff.
Well, we got still going through.
That was rescinded, we're okay.
I think one of the things we'll mention too is we've been starting to talk about logistics of parking and where people are entering the school and how that's all gonna look. And it's gonna be a complicated process here. I've talked to Elizabeth Torkelson, the city manager here, and we're gonna have a meeting and just try to figure out how do we best wanna handle this, because if you come into this parking lot at 2:55, 3 o'clock, there's this huge line of cars going out that way, and this entrance is going to be closed off. We're going to have like a tunnel between the doors down there, the wood shop doors, and then that's going to feed to over here. It's going to be a little crazy for a while, but that will not be able to be used as a main entrance. So we're trying to figure out, where do we send people in? It's probably going to have the west bus doors. Probably will be the main entrance, but
Do we have physically enough parking room for anybody that's driving, or we're gonna have to start restricting drivers or something along those lines?
it'll be tight. But we're fine right now, and we're not using any of that side right now. It's all fenced off.
Yeah, and we'll have, our fence will be,
We'll skinny that up.
yep,
We won't eliminate it, but eventually, once the storm shelter's done, we can skinny that area up
Yeah.
a little bit, so we can get back more parking.
but just to speak to that tunnel that he was talking about, we're gonna have to do that because this front entrance here, we have to take that whole room down. We have to bring up the fuel tank that's over there. And then we have to put a whole bunch of structural beams right along this media center area. So this will all be torn up right here. And then we have to build the front office area. So this area will not be able to be accessed. And it will be all torn up, not safe for anybody. So this is a way that we can get kids from there to there,
To the
you
tunnel.
know, and this is the best way we thought of to do it and try to keep it weather safe, you know, because we're gonna try to enclose it for them so they're not in snow, rain, all that stuff. And even we were talking about how we do it for ADA capabilities too, so somebody in a wheelchair, how do they go up? Cause we got the, you know, the parking lot, they have the curbs and everything. How do we do it so a person in a wheelchair can get up it and everything? So trying to think of everything and stuff. It's not gonna be great, I can tell you that, but
It'll be safe.
yes, and it will be able to get the kids from here to there, and that hopefully we'll get this open, you know, February, March, hopefully. I mean, sooner is always better, but I'm not gonna say sooner.
Right. Okay.
And then I know that we will have to go through a lot of, meetings with the state as well on fire emergency routes out, and then we're gonna have to post stuff in the school and everything, so. Which I think should be posted to that website as well.
When does that start over here?
Once you guys are out of school.
As soon as
we're
school's out?
I mean,
Yeah.
this is one area that I mean, we're already talking to them about in that coal room starting stuff. Whatever you can start down there that does not interfere with school, like, so, don't shut off the power, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you can start moving stuff, go, start down there, do whatever you can.
We're doing some disconnects already, so we're just trying to stay ahead as much as possible. Because the summer is crazy. It's the nature of this.
Jim, do you have any other comments or concerns?
Not right now. We're meeting quite a bit, and
like I said, I'd just like to see a budget overview like we had that first.
Yeah, I can print that off before you leave. I'll have to run down to my office and grab it, but
That's, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, cause that's kind of what people wanna see,
Mhm.
is I wanna see what the overall, this is what we spent, this is what we're projected to spend, this is what we have
It's-
available. So then we know if we're
Is
in
that
our
available off the
contingency or not
school
yet,
site already?
which helps us make some of these decisions like we're talking about, you know, something's coming, it's like saying, you know what? We decide that we should recommend using some contingency to fix the water issue down in the thing. We might be able to make that decision once we kinda get a better idea where we're at
Yeah.
on a complete budget side.
it's in my last board report from,
Okay.
when did we meet? Monday? Seems longer than that, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
it was Monday. But I can print it out.
That'd be great.
I guess one other thing, just furniture. Do we wanna talk about the
Sure.
furniture?
Oh, yeah, mention that.
So I did get some information here. I don't know, line of sight, cause I didn't know anything on this. So you guys have ordered a bunch of furniture with the ESSER money, and the company has been storing it. And the first month was free. Now they're gonna start charging, so they gave us a pretty big discount for January 15th to February 15th. It's $1,200 to store it. And then they have from January 15th to August 1st, which is the date that I gave them that we would need that furniture. That charge would be $21,000. Then I gave them the option of what happens if we have them deliver it to Bird Island, store it in Bird Island, and like in that gym area, the cafeteria area, and I don't know how easy that's gonna be to get in there. I have never really walked in that area, so I don't know. Store it over there, and then they would pick it up again and bring it over here. That cost us $10,600. I just wanna say this because they told me I'm supposed to say this. They do not like this idea, because this idea is usually, like, they bring it someplace, somebody goes in and touches all the stuff goes missing, stuff gets damaged, and then it's a lot of finger pointing that happens, and it ends up costing more for you guys, so.
It's my understanding that National Guard building across from Casey's is empty, sitting empty, gonna be vacant.
The Armory.
Is that something that we might be able to get control of short term?
Possibly, but I don't think that addresses their problem of stuff going missing and finger pointing.
Well, of course, they want $21,000.
Yeah, no, and I get that. I get
Of
that.
course, every issue's bad, cause they
Yeah.
want $21,000.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, we might as well use the Bird Island. I guess that's
I
what
would say that I can keep that more secure than I can the Bird Island campus.
That is true, I mean,
Yeah, if it
'Cause
doesn't
this
have
has
people
two
coming
doors.
and going,
Cause
then
this has two doors, one on each end. That's all it's.
Yeah, I've
in.
never
It's a
been
big-
in there,
It's
yeah.
a big brick building.
Oh,
It's
okay.
open, it's the National Guard. I think it's a county building, but I don't know that for a fact.
Like how many truckloads of stuff are they, of furniture?
I don't know, I can find that out.
Yeah, to kind of give us an idea what, how much
The
stuff are we
quantity?
talking?
Randy, you
Yeah.
got some space, don't you?
No, I actually don't. You would think so, but no. Hmm.
I got a shed in my backyard. I don't-
No, all I'm saying is, cause if it comes in, we got, that's a solid, secure building.
Right, lock it up, nobody's in
Yeah,
there.
'cause like I said, I'd be concerned about it sitting in the school over there too. I mean, we had people running in that school all year, no matter how much we tried to lock it up.
Yeah.
You have to make sure
Opening windows.
that, somebody's not gonna wanna use it in July for something.
Well, but my understanding is that the only reason I know it's empty is cause the guard is being disbanded out of Olivia because they approached our snowmobile club to use our groomer rig for, accident recovery or snow recovery in snowstorms and stuff, cause they're losing all of the guard equipment is gone. So all the big trucks, everything that they had that was part of their emergency rescue plan are all gone. So they reached out to us to use our groomer as their replacement for their, snowstorm rescue program. So that's how I know it's empty, I know everything is out of there. but
Maybe wanna talk to somebody with the city, I heard rumors that they were gonna sell it to the city for $1.
sell that building to the city for
If it's
$1.
true or not, I don't know.
Jim can maybe ask her.
Yep.
No, it's no maybe.
All I'm saying is it's a big brick structure that has 2 doors.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
I'll
it's not-
I'll see what I can do with. I'll contact Elizabeth, and then if we have to use Bird Island, we can figure out a way to secure those doors over there, to the ones that actually go into the area itself.
Maybe find out costs there and see comparable to doing it there.
Yep.
Right. Let us know. I mean, is it 2 truckloads? Is it 10 loads? I don't know how.
Because either way, they'll have to pick it up there again, so we're gonna have this charge, this 10,600 charge. So you're still gonna have to pay, you'll have to pay rent there, whereas Bird Island, you wouldn't have to pay the rent at all, cause it's at Bird Island. Cause you're gonna want them to pick it up and bring it here and put it together and set it up and put it in the rooms and do all that.
Do you know what kind of furniture it is? Is it just chairs or tables, desks, everything?
I'm asking for that, I'm asking
Yeah,
for
it's
the
all of
plan
that.
and the whole thing.
It's all of that. It's benches, a lot of stuff.
I don't know, you were, I think,
Shelving,
part of the purchasing,
yeah.
right?
Then again, if it's only a difference of $11,600, it's like, leave it there and deliver it.
And not to worry about something getting damaged or ruined.
Yeah, cause I mean, really, that's what we're talking about is a delta of $11,000.
Well, less than that if there's damage to anything,
Yeah.
Right.
or theft.
So it may not be.
I can let you.
All right. Let us know.
You
Mitch.
don't have to give me an answer
All
for
right.
We'll
now,
figure it
but
out.
Got it.
Is there a way you can work with them a little bit and say, can you bring that down a little bit and kinda,
I can have Natalie, this is
Yeah.
Natalie's area,
Yeah, see
and
if
I
she
can
can-
have her talk to him and see what she can do and
Tell them if you're
everything.
concerned about that tents, if it's concerned about theft, well then lower your price a little bit.
I can see what she can do and work her magic.
We could accept it as a gift in kind at the board meeting, and they could use it as a write-off.
tax write-off? Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can do, anything else for us?
The Brown campus, last meeting, we talked about the curtains being not right. Now, you had a hard time getting hold of that company, so it says in here, the Brown
Yeah,
campus,
there's coal.
the curtains are done.
Yeah.
So that must have got a hold of the curtain company, so that's all done.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Becca done last week,
Last
2
week.
weeks?
Yeah, last week.
Yep, that's checked out.
So then we're all happy with everything over there, does the bleachers slide out like we want them to and all that kinda stuff?
It's a little more work than we were hoping for.
He actually met with him today.
I met them today, and that's per design. It's, being a mobile unit, it's not bolted to the wall like the ones on the, I guess that's the west,
So,
the south side, excuse me. The south side ones are bolted to the wall, so those come out, flawless, no big deal. The other ones they can move, and so when they put them away, they have to, there's just a technique that needs to happen. And I learned a lot by just going there today. I could take the custodian staff over, show them exactly how to do it, and there'll be no issues.
Could one person do it?
1.5.
Oh,
But I mean,
perfect.
it's not a big deal. I mean, there's some history, but yeah, I think we've got it.
Okay.
so what I was told and why I had the guy come out was that the pintles were not aligned, that they were off from the back wall, and that's what was causing when they came out, it was hitting and everything,
Oh.
but they checked and they are aligned back there. So I do think it's just a training thing,
Okay.
so,
All right.
so we can set that up.
Yeah. You want to contact Tim and
Is it Tim that I need to?
yeah,
contact? Okay.
yep.
I
He's
will.
doing all the communication stuff for us.
Okay.
Where could we get his information from?
I'll get it to you if you don't.
Okay.
Okay.
I have his contact.
Oh, you do?
I thought
Okay,
so. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, anything else?
Hearing none, then we'll move on to Code Camp's been patiently waiting here for us, so
It's Acing over there.
appreciate it.
We can have it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Longpole Young Camp from,
Will that turn or that far?
from Troop
Yeah.
224
Well-
located in Wilmer. And I plan on doing a batting cage at Brid Island Memorial Park in Brid Island. Trying to get it approved, so it's gonna be located in between the JV field and the splash pad, like right here. It's gonna be 81 feet long by 30. Here's like pictures of it. Then here's one that NLS has that I plan on kinda doing something similar. And the company I'm getting it from is Anthem Sports. It's gonna the entire batting cage with cement, with all of it, it's gonna be like 18,000. And I plan on, if I get it approved, I'm gonna go to businesses asking for money for it. I have a letter that I'm gonna send out, then I'll plan on talking to them. And if they are willing to donate, they will get a donation form. Then when I have it built, they will have a plaque of who all donated for each company. Then the turf is gonna be 105 by 15, but the batting cage is only gonna be 70 because I plan on doing 3 batting stations with the batting cage. Then the different nettings right here. Then, yeah,
What do you mean by 3 batting stations, Cole?
like you're gonna extend the cement so like you can do like batting off a tee while people
Ah.
are hitting.
Into the side of the
Yeah.
fence or net? Okay.
Because when you have like 20 people,
Mm-hmm.
like, you don't just got people standing around.
Sure.
Who would be responsible for setting the nets and taking the nets down, storing the nets?
Mike Nagel would help with that, and Joe Dollishaw.
What is that part of the baseball, is this, I mean, what group is, I mean, I don't know,
It's
are
gonna
those
be
coaches, is it the baseball team, is it the school, is it, who's responsible to make sure it stays maintained?
the baseball association.
Okay.
Mike Nagel is the president, so he'll get that covered.
You have been working with them.
Yeah.
I talked to Mike about it, and my thought was, you know, when we donated the land for the splash pad, Splash Island, we had initially offered all of that land to the city of Bird Island, and they had turned it down. But Mike said he actually contacted I can't think of his name. He used to be a board chair here. Bank owner, Citizens Alliance Bank.
Oh.
Neil
Neil
Prokash. Okay, I said it first. There you go. And Neil felt that they would probably be receptive now of taking that. So then we wouldn't be liable for that property anymore, and he thinks that they were worried that we were going to try to back out of our joint powers agreement with the baseball association, which I said, Mike, where would we play ball if we backed out of that? He's like, well, that's a good point.
Pat's question on the nets, is that something they put up in the spring and take down in the fall? So they're up
Yeah.
all summer long? Okay,
The poles will stay up all year round.
okay.
No, I've been around these batting cages back in Illinois, this style design, the only difference, I guess what it comes down to is I just know that there's a lot of maintenance on the net itself to make sure all the little hooks and cables are all going on. Because we did it with the city park, so you can see about how much care people had on the city park side of things. So that's why who's ever responsible here, I'm assuming will
And
probably.
the net is also, it's climatized, so it's more for Minnesota
Okay.
weather, so.
No, I mean, yeah.
So you're not,
Do you guys?
I think it's a great project, just a
Yes,
matter
I think
of
it's-
making sure we do it, approvals are right, so I think it's great.
Yeah, and
Does
I-
anybody wanna take a closer look at that? Or are you good where you're sitting?
I do.
You're gonna raise the money first before you
So
start?
basically
or-
what he's asking is
Money
just
will
to
be out.
approve
So
it,
you're not
put it
asking
there,
for
we're
money,
not
you're just
paying
asking
for any
for
of it.
permission on the land
Right.
Right now?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
wants
Right.
to do
When I
it.
get
Yep.
permission, then I can get the money. put it
Yeah.
back.
Nicole, what part of that work would you do other than like you put it together, raising the funds, or?
I'll lead a group to help, like, I'll have, Jen and Versailles agreed, for the concrete.
Okay.
Do we have a batten, or, I'm sorry, do we have a batting cage now for the baseball and softball?
Used to be one down where you walk up to the.
So where does the,
They don't have it.
softball team play, the women's softball team, is there over those fields too, or is that?
No, they, are,
What's that?
I'm sure
They're
so.
starting to work out.
I thought there was one on the left field line,
So
wasn't
there
there?
won't be lights there, though, like,
There
there
used to be.
they probably don't have to put lights there, it's just,
This question.
So
On the
Paul,
right field.
they're not,
Right.
Paul?
Right, right
Oh,
across the
sorry,
parking lot.
Yeah.
I think so, so like.
Where's 212 this
I
way?
think you'd wanna let it too.
No, 212, well, I'm trying to think, where's
This
212?
way, this way.
212's up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
And
is
you're talking about
this is the
putting-
main base.
So do they use this
Yeah.
like during the game?
Oh, they use it all year.
And this is, you're
Kids
talking
will
about.
go-
the game,
are
batters like warming up in
there, or-
I don't,
Mhm.
pitchers and or batters, I see pitchers use them quite a bit too, when they swing there to throw, pitchers and catchers.
Quick question, Cole, are they planning on putting any lights next to it, or just the batting cage itself?
We are planning on doing like lights inside it, so like, if you want to, you'll get permission, say, Rhode Island to put lights on. So like, people could do it like later at night.
Mm-hmm.
But they also talked about doing like a timer that you just go in and hit the timer.
Oh, that'd be
And then
good,
it's
nice,
on for just how many minutes, and then they just like, go hit the timer.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Is there a pitching machine as part of it, or strictly just hand thrown?
Sit back
I
down,
didn't see anything on
something's
there. Coaches, I'm sure would appreciate that.
So our thing would be to help, just make a recommendation that we try to sell that land to the city, right? Or, I mean, give the land to the
Give
city.
it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if the city's willing to take it and do the project, it's,
Yeah, the land itself is doing us
Nothing.
nothing. And I think by giving it to the city, gives them a lot more options for what happens over there, and so I don't see a negative to that.
No.
Do you need a motion for that?
I think just a recommendation, do say,
I would recommend it.
Todd's a yes, I'm guessing?
Yes, I'll recommend that.
All right.
We do the land for you.
All right, I'd say it's a unanimous recommendation from the facilities committee that you pursue giving the land to the city of Bird Island so Cole can build the batting cage. Fabulous project.
Nicely
by the way.
put together.
Thank you.
Very well.
Nice job.
Nice job.
And I think Cole's got to get to basketball.
Well, that's why he was pacing.
Yeah, I've been watching the
Looking
clock.
at his
I,
clock and pacing.
I was gonna make sure.
Thank you.
Just gotta get on the bus.
Yeah,
Hey.
all
All
right.
right. Oh, I'll see you waiting.
I'm surprised we didn't already have a batting cage. I'm shocked by that.
There is one on the left field line, is there?
Was one, there used to be one anyhow, but there's gotta be one.
On the west,
On the left field line of the
Oh.
GE field.
wasn't it,
No, on the varsity field.
wasn't it
is
like a
there?
pull-out one on wheels that they pulled out or something?
That's how they do batting practice now, is they have a batting cage that they put on the GEV field that they pull out, and then they do their batting practice there.
Oh, and you hit into it.
Oh, that's
It's
right,
not-
they got
it's not a
that-
cage, you just
they
like
got
hit
that
into it like a
turtle or
big
whatever
ball.
it
You
is
hit
over
into the
there.
field, so it's the batting cage behind you, it's like a big.
Turtle, they call it.
Oh, and then you hit out into the field.
Yeah, they hit out into the field, that's how they do their batting practice now for.
Yeah, so
For
the,
JV.
so wild pitches, foul balls all stay there, and you don't have to chase those, but anything in play goes out where it has to go.
They have to collapse it and then roll it out behind the backstop when they play GV feed that game, they play a GV game. And then it just pretty much stays up all summer for, when the Bullfrogs play. Or something there.
I think at games, if I think back to remember, it was usually more often than not, it was pitchers and catchers and they're warming up. Which is
Yeah.
also a good thing, cause the pitchers are, otherwise they're warming up next to fans or people
Yeah.
where, but,
Right.
Well, good.
Okay,
What's that?
next thing on your,
Oh,
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up where we do have one application so far in from, for the Building and Grounds Director position. I've got Tim Holden is taking the communication side of it. He had an injury, so he's not really supposed to be doing much lifting, and so this is kind of nice. It's working out well for all of us, and but we certainly still want to fill that position. I'm hoping to get several more applications in. It's hard to hire the one person that applies for a spot like this.
how far out did you put this out? Like, where'd you put it?
February 15th, I believe.
Oh, where? Like,
Oh,
Indeed, or?
it's on. Yeah, I think she went on Indeed. I'm not positive on Indeed,
Okay.
but it was on. It's on the radio. It's in the Wilmer paper.
I would try putting it on an Indeed or something. Nowadays, everybody does that. Right?
We talked about it. I'm not sure.
surprised
How
how
many
many people
people-
we've got on Indeed.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
These young kids scope that all the time.
Yeah.
They're always telling me at work, oh, there's a job for here.
Yeah.
So, how do you know that? Oh, Indeed.
I don't know how much you can talk about or not, but my not knowing Denny's complete situation, was it more logistical? Was it more pay? Was it a combination? Is there something that we need to think about for the next person to make sure that we're competitive? Are we competitive?
Yeah, he's getting paid a lot more than he was here, and it includes a little more health benefits. I don't know. I didn't see his contract, but that's what he told me. So,
Well, he's from Redwood.
but he also lives in
So
Redwood.
His
it's all
grandkids go to
logistical,
Redwood.
yeah.
He's got
Grandkids are there. He
there.
lives there.
Well, cause I'm, cause I mean, obviously, it's the world we live in right now, and if it's a competitive issue and we're not gonna get a lot of candidates to choose from, we gotta make sure that we're competitive. It's just like in anything else, but if we believe we're competitive, then, hey, we're not gonna be, we can't afford to be top dollar either,
Well, so here's what I did when I posted the position, because there's a new state law that says you have to, when you post a position, you have to post the minimum and the maximum you're willing to pay. And so I didn't know what to do. I said, well, I put a range from $60,000 to $100,000. I mean, we can't afford $100,000, I don't think. But I didn't want somebody coming in and saying it was $75,000, and then we hire someone for $77,000, and having somebody say, "You said I didn't apply for that because I didn't,"
Yeah.
So I wasn't really sure what to do
I
with
think
that.
that sounds right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. What about, I remember years ago, there was some discussion on contracting that out.
Well,
Is
and
that a worst case scenario for us, or is that?
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of benefits to being able to contract something like that out. For one thing, they're not our employee.
Yeah.
And I'm finding with the,
Unemployment or anything.
yeah.
So would that be just for Denny's position, or would that be for all the custodians and?
Oh, I guess I hadn't really thought that far ahead.
I think that was
Well-
the ticking point last time, because they all would have had to reapply for the position.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I think, and if
Oh, I know.
remember
I
right,
did. I remember what you're
What
talking about.
happened, what they were talking, and what they wanted to do is actually get our employees, put it as part of the package and say, hey, you need to
You
hire
take
this,
them
and
on.
take them on with you.
Okay, that was not
Yeah.
my intent here at all. I was just considering looking for them to, kind of like we're doing with our director of finance, where we get her from the service co-op, and it's really kind of best of both worlds. We pay the co-op, we don't have to pay any of the extras on top of that. And if something were to happen, she's got all kinds of people that can step in and back her up and answer questions, and so
Right, and
if we can find a company that can do that for our director, I don't see why I wouldn't consider it.
I think it's
Where does
something
this-
we should look at both options.
Yeah.
Where does this leave us with our maintenance software we're working on and putting in?
We're ditching it. We're gonna go with we can do this all on Excel. There's no reason that we have to spend money on this. So that's a good question. I was gonna bring that up, yeah. It's just, it's overly complicated, and by just keeping track of it on a spreadsheet, I've more and more superintendents I'm talking to, that's what they do. So people are sending examples of how they're keeping track of the depreciation lists.
Well, it's more along to make sure that we have a system in place that we can verify that the maintenance is being done on the correct schedule, on what's going
Yeah.
on, cause we gotta go back and remember, a lot of the discussions we had is people were saying, how did our school get to this point? How were we determine what was being taken care of, when it was being taken care of, and so
Sure.
I know I personally made promises that we're, part of our thing is we're trying to get this put into place, so whatever system we use, whether it's a spreadsheet or whatever it is, Excel or a database of some sort, we have to be able to generate a punch list or a schedule of some sort
Right.
that gives a set of tasks for somebody to go out and take care of on a periodic basis, that they have to sign off on saying, this is done.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's a
so-
simple-
Checks and
it could be
balances.
as simple as, we have a chart set up there that's saying, here's all of our monthly activities, that we have to do.
Right.
And then so that guy takes around and says, okay, here's our boiler monthly activities, and we got a signed sheet
Yeah.
that basically said, I did each of these tasks. So however we get that information in there,
Would you mind if I gave you a call and you could help me?
absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely, you would mind,
No,
or
no,
you wouldn't?
absolutely.
Okay, all right.
That's why I'm on here. So
Okay.
I set that program up for 17 different feed plants back in the day.
Yeah.
And I bought a real simple online program for like $6,000, and once you programmed it in, it was a piece of cake, and it just, all you had to do is just click it out, and it printed off a list for whoever you wanted to send
Sure.
it to.
Sure.
Could you just do something on T-sheets?
Well,
On what?
T-sheets, all of our guys, all that information goes on their phone. When they start the day, it's on their phone. The
Yeah, I don't-
duties they
like I
do is
said-
on their phone, the clock out, it's all on their phone, and
we have to do the
It's so
clock
simple.
out through the service co-op
Through
stuff.
the timekeeper type.
Yeah,
thing, right?
but we were talking the other day, and we had a mid-year evaluation of me, and we were talking about that, and I said that somebody mentioned, and made me think, like, okay, we can keep all of these documents, links to all of these documents in one spot.
Yep.
And the checklist that you're mentioning, somebody could take a photograph of that, and we save it onto the Google Drive, and boom, it's part of this this
Yeah,
document.
because it's not a matter, in my opinion, it's not a matter of how it's done or what software or Excel or whatever. It's the functionality that we need to do, and however detailed or not detailed that needs to be, it's fine. We just need to be able to turn around that in 10 years from now, we got another group of people that are sitting here looking at it saying, okay, well, we need to make this upgrade. How do we get to this point? Well, we've maintained it all the way through, and according to the owner's manual, it's just wore out. This is just a fact of life. It needs to be done because it's after all these years. There's been, so we can go to the public and say, look, it has not been neglected.
Mhm.
It's had everything it needs to do. Right now, I'm not sure that we have that records for anything in the school.
No, not really.
Right, and so that's
Roofs,
why,
that's about it.
yeah, but that's why you get the questions like
Yep.
my mom was saying, how did we go from being able to be in Bird Island one year, and next year it's told we gotta shut it down? How did it go from boom to boom?
Yeah.
And that just, all that does is it's a very logical reason as to why it might have been able to do that, but nobody could answer it and nobody could prove it. And then that comes back to the whole transparency thing that we've been talking
Right.
all the way through.
Yep.
So I
Agreed.
don't think we wanna open ourselves up to that can of worms,
Definitely not.
so.
I'll give you a call.
Yep, no problem.
I'll give you a little information on the T-sheets that we use too.
Okay.
Yep.
Even if they don't use it as their time clock, for janitor, for example, they have their list. And our guys, if they're not doing the same project all day, for example, if we go to the sugar co-op and do some work, everyone gets there, they clock in on their phones. When they leave there, they clock out on their phones. It's in our office for billing and it's done.
Oh, nice.
So it's easy, so janitor leaves and says, you know, I had to go for parts, and of course it's GPS, so it verifies
That they
everyone's
went.
where, you know,
Yeah.
so if they forget to clock out, it's like, well, yeah, I can go back, you GPS, yeah, you left at 3:15. It's just a really nice, simple, and you always get a little resistance on anything new, but boy, after the first couple weeks, guys love it, there's no paper.
Right.
And it's instant, we don't have to wait, hound people to get their paperwork in.
Yeah,
It's,
so
it's done.
T-Sheets is a mobile app, that's a software-based type thing, like a cloud-based software that somebody has to send the reminders, set the reminders up. And
You
assign
could
them?
you could send them reminders, or you could just go off of your written documents and say, okay, this month, here's the list that needs to be done. And then they have that list, and when it's done, they click it on their phone, you got that record, it's back in your office, it's done.
You don't have to wait for the paper.
Right.
Right,
And
no,
they like it because they can say, well, I verified, I'm here, no questions. Every once in a while, somebody will forget to clock out, and it's like, all right, you're still on from yesterday. It's no big deal, you call and you say, I forgot, here's my,
Yeah, well, I mean,
Is
it's,
it part of
it's-
QuickBooks or?
no, it's a separate, I'll send you a link
Okay.
on it.
Would something, if we would get the co-op, like a
Something,
cleaning
yeah.
co-op, something like that would work for them.
Absolutely, cause
You
that's what
know,
we
that-
bill off
Then you're
on.
not on our time,
And they may
Yeah.
wanna handle it differently.
well, probably,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
Or even if
I
it's
can,
our,
I can
even
talk
if
to
it's
them
our
about
employee,
that.
it's just an
This isn't
easy way
about
for them
a-
to document
Yeah,
that it's
it
done.
isn't tracking a payroll aspect of it, it's tracking an activity.
Right.
So, like I said, now I'm dating myself, but when I put these systems together in the feed mills many moons ago, we didn't have smartphones and apps, so it was paper, but there was a system where barcodes were just coming out. So we had all the people in the feed mill, depending upon what activity they were working on, they would scan on that activity and then scan off that activity, so we could track their time on the amount of time it spent them to say, run this batch of feed, or to load this truck. And then we could track the costs. It's a cost accounting system that came in, it was actually by IBM called Mapix, but it's the same type of functionality as what you're talking about, but now it's just done on the phone instead of paper and barcodes and everything else.
And,
So-
and it's just, we just learned a lot of those jobs, so if I'm an office person, it's much easier for me to write down what I did, my time, my hours. You know, if I'm out in the field working all day or in and out of the warehouses or whatever, it's like,
That's the last thing you wanna do.
that's
is-
the last thing
Mhm.
you do, yeah, you mean, especially winter, if you're outside, you're doing stuff or whatever, it's just, and it's done, and.
Yeah, no, and that's, absolutely, I mean, I'm all against paper. I need a record of it, but I'm okay with it just being electronic signature or some tap off or whatever, and
Right.
sooner or later, we have to trust the person to do the job.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
my gut
And not
feeling
only
is
trust them, but like you said, then you have the documentation. It's good
Immediately.
for them and the
Well,
community
yeah,
to say,
well, not
yep,
only
see, we
that,
did
it's
it.
very easy to go out and he turns around and says, well, yeah, I cleaned up that, or, you know, I checked the oil on this or whatever it was, and you go walking by there and saying, there's no way he did this job,
Mhm.
but he signed off he did it, it's a way to verify saying, you did not do this.
Right.
So,
Can they take a picture of stuff in there or
I
not?
don't know.
Is that going too?
yeah, that's,
Ask 'em all.
to me, it's sooner or later, you still gotta trust the people you hire.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's, we have a record of it, and I would dare to bet that, the human nature is gonna be as we build this school, as we get all this new stuff, there's gonna be a lot more pride in taking care of something new than taking care of something that's 30 years old, and it's like, it doesn't matter if I fix it or not, because it's gonna break again next week.
Yeah.
Right. And I have to give Danny credit, I mean, I'm disappointed he's leaving, I mean, but it's, he's put up with a lot of old equipment here for a lot of time, a lot of
Yeah.
years, so, I mean, I appreciate, what
Yeah,
he's done on some of those
absolutely.
stuff, so.
All right.
Anybody else have anything to discuss today?
Nope.
If not, then we'll adjourn.